Big Z Reviews. Sundown is an indie comedic drama that came out a little bit ago but is currently streaming for free on Amazon Prime. And I found out about it because it was directed and written by Brendan Boogie, who is part of a band I know, an indie band in Boston. And I saw some other indie bands I follow talking about the movie, so I decided to check it out, and I liked it.
Usually he gets up because he has to go to the bathroom, and he'll need help pulling his pants down.
Are you kidding me?
You're doing great. We're aiming for like a 50% success rate here.
Text me 911 if it's an emergency, and I'll call you.
If it's an emergency, I'll call the actual 911.
It can be a lot more challenging than you think.
I think I'm capable of handling him.
I hired you twice to come out and fix this furnace, and it keeps breaking!
Dad, I'm not the repairman.
So the idea of Sundown is that a lot of times when people get Alzheimer's, they can have their most lucid moments can be towards the morning, and then as the day goes on, they get less lucid. So that the main character's father is affected by this, and basically in the beginning of the movie, he walks out of the house on his own and falls and breaks his ribs, and that they kind of have to, the people around him, his family have to come together and try to, do what's best for him, do what's best for themselves, and, do what they have to do to try to help the family. And I obviously this was filmed on a micro budget, and I could definitely critique some things like the color grading is kind of off, and the editing isn't perfect. And, the acting, surprisingly, a lot of the acting is pretty good. And the writing is pretty good. It is genuinely funny. I laughed a couple times throughout the film. But there are also some more awkward things, some more cringy moments that are just kind of goofy. But at the same time, it's well made. It's well crafted. I really appreciate what they're going for and what they're trying to do. And they did deliver on a lot of it. So the main character that the movie follows is played by Grayson Powell, Dewey, and he is, the kind of the son that he's a gambling addict, maybe an alcoholic, and he's kind of just doing nothing with his life, and he's kind of called back to help watch his dad, and he doesn't really know what's been going on with him. I think they don't know how bad he is, and the dad is played by Paul Kandarian, and the mom is played by Zele Avradopoulos. And I really, the mom is probably is really good, and she's almost kind of the second main character after the son, Grayson Powell. And there's also a sister, and there's also a potential new girlfriend, and there's some drama with a lot of drama with the potential new girlfriend, and there's some drama with the sister, and she's in a loveless marriage. And there's a lot of stuff going on, and I think that's it's not as tight as it could have been. For a bit, there's this stuff with the sister where she might be cheating on the husband, or the mother sees her at a bar flirting with another guy, and it's they never really get they've never finished that sort of storyline. You get the other stuff kind of always comes to a point and finishes try to says something, but I feel that kind of got lost in the wayside. You don't know enough about their relationship. I almost feel if it would have been better if they would have left more of that out, but at the same time it's good because it shows that the sister is not perfect, because the sister is kind of mean to the brother, because and so that's kind of showing that she's not perfect, but then the brother doesn't know that. So it's it feels like the brother should maybe have seen her having some sort of infidelity, because to the brother she's perfect, and I think that's one of the problems. But one other big problem I have with the way the story is told is that it's not quite clear how much time has passed, especially because essentially it's he's supposed to have night watch, and he was to watch over him and help him if he has to get up to go to the bathroom, because he can't really do it by himself anymore. And that he also, at night, he can wake up and wander around. That's how he got injured. So, he has to be there for him. But then, like, it seems like it's only the second night he's been there. He calls his gambling buddy and try to find the game around him. And he leaves, seemingly like leaving his dad there by himself. And he steals money from their cabinet and goes to the game. And nothing really happens from that. I was like, oh, that's horrible. And like a couple times more that happens, like where he leaves in the middle. It seems like the middle of the night to play poker, and that's where you introduce more story with like the potential girlfriend played by Anna Rizzo, and that's more of the story. And I understand why they have to do that, but I feel like something is missing there, and two, it's because like I kept thinking, oh, something bad's gonna happen now from that. There's gonna be a consequence for his actions, and there really wasn't. I mean, like, there's, that comes later, of course. That how the story's going to go, that something's going to happen while he's gone. But I kept feeling that, like, I kept waiting for something to happen with that. And also, too, I think there's missing a scene, because later on, like, he says he's ready to leave, and like, what, it's Tuesday night. And like, oh, no, I told you weeks ago. And I was like, oh, so it's been weeks since the start of the movie. And like, but I have to, I'm grading in midterms tonight. Somehow, like you take midterms up to midnight. Sometimes I don't know about that, but so it sounds like maybe that they made an arrangement that on Tuesdays he can get out of the house and get away from this and do something else. So like I think like it's missing a scene kind of explaining that. But as a whole, I still found it really well written and well acted relatively. Like, I mean, I like, it's an interesting idea. I mean, you don't see it too often, showing how an Alzheimer's can affect an entire family and how it can bring them together and how it can tear them apart. And it feels like really like, that this is, I think, Brendan Boogie, I think at the end it was for dad or something that he had. So I assume his father must have had Alzheimer's. So this is kind of slightly based on his experience. So, I mean, it's really it's earnest and heartfelt. And my grandmother had Alzheimer's, or she had dementia. Like, I'm not sure exactly. Like, we always thought that it seemed like it came on so quick that might have been a series of mini strokes or something in her brain that messed things up. But my two of my aunts mainly took over care for her, and that we watched that that slowly degrade and how horrible it can be to see someone deteriorate like that. And that's, a lot of them don't see that much that how, like, they can become violent. Like, I know you can be incredibly anxious, and I know my mom told me one time that, like, we were at, like, a get-together, Christmas or Thanksgiving or something, and, like, my mom was sitting next to my Nana, and she whispered to her, I don't know who any of these people are. And they're all and that's tough. I know that but at the same time, like in this, I wish that that you think they would have had a nurse, because the family seems to be relatively wealthy. Like they have both parents have doctorates, and one's a teacher, and they have like famous authors apparently. So it's like you know they would have a nurse, because I mean even like my family is not rich. But my aunts, they had help. They had a nurse that came in and helped take care of her. Eventually, she went to a home, but it's still my aunts and someone would actually go, help the people at the home take care of her. So, like, to make sure she got all the care that she needed. So I feel like that. That's not, they didn't want to show that. They wanted to have it be all on the son, and that's understandable. That's for the story, not necessarily for like be accurate to what it would be like. But I mean, I liked there are a lot of really good moments in this, and it is heartfelt, and I did like it. It's a good portrayal of what this can do to a family, and I think it's definitely worth a watch, especially because it's on Amazon Prime. It's a beautiful little film that's definitely very indie, definitely rough around the edges, but I enjoyed it a lot. Like, I mean, I'd probably give it like a 7.5 out of 10. It was an interesting indie film. But thanks for watching, and share other replays from ahead, and subscribe to me and that Z over there. Thanks. This has been a Big Z movie review. Thanks for watching.